No-to. And for any of you guys out there that were thinking, man, she's hot, and then you saw her swing a sword and went, ooh, why did he marry her? She told me to. And I was afraid to say no. I still am. Hop Bulgarian Mote, 8 basic cuts by the count. Come on. Our arts go back to a time when life or death was at stake with a sword, much like our relationship. The cuts the samurai used weren't designed to score points or win trophies like they are today, but your life or death hung in the balance. Your skill with a sword was all that stood between you and an early exit out of the gene pool. So while you watch her do these cuts, please keep in mind, in her mind, she's not scoring points. Every cut is killing at least one of you. Hopefully it's one of you, because normally the target in her mind standing in front of her is about this tall and wears a gray and black kimono with... Yeah! You're watching the same movie in her head. Hop Bulgari, each, hey, see, yeah, dodge, go, sheep, hey, go, yeah, row, go, teach, hey, watch, yeah. Come on. Woo! Are you going to clap and cheer at everything she does? Yeah! You love you too! Let's do one more form then, okay? Okay. And I know it's different because this whole audience seems to be on your side, but when the samurai were training, the idea was to train for combat on the battlefield. And the way that works was like this.
Blocking your shot.
It's us against you. We have swords, and you have a little yellow stuffed animal on a stick. So the odds are in our favor. But combat on the battlefield was very chaotic, and there were times we'd get separated. Now for her that would happen because she saw something shiny and wandered off. In my case, it's usually that I saw you coming and I'm very afraid, so I go hide over here and let her do all the work. Like any other man. Sometimes the audience is too agreeable. So, for the samurai, they couldn't just stop and push the pause button and go, wait, I need friends. Let me hit up Facebook. The samurai had to be able to keep fighting, so it's important that they can wheel and cut in any direction and deliver a powerful strike. And for those of you that were in our sword class earlier, without hitting yourself, cutting your own leg off with a sword, it hurts just as bad as having someone else do it. So the samurai had to be able to turn and cut in any direction with full power. So what I want you to do during this form, I want you to pretend that you are all alone, completely surrounded by people who don't like you. For your last, it's not that bad. She went to West Branch High School. There's only about 6 weeks. What, are you guys from West Branch? No, you're not. There are no rednecks in this audience. Right, so, 4-direction cutting. You surrounded by enemies. Shihogiri. Each. Knee. Dodge. Sheep. Go. Come on. Chiburi. No. Once they were competent to use a sword and swing it around effectively without hitting themselves, or also, if you were in our sword class earlier, without accidentally hitting the person next to you that's not supposed to get hit, once you could do that, it was time for the samurai to learn the next part of their training, and this was really important. What to do when someone has a sharp sword and they're swinging it at you. Because normal human reaction, if some psychotic sword-wielding blonde jumps out at them with a sword, is this. Which is one step up from fetal position. And gentlemen, just so we're clear, fetal position, not only not useful on the battlefield, will not help your dating life. Mostly because women do not respect people in fetal position. That represents a target of opportunity. Or several targets of opportunity. So, fetal position did not work, and that brings us to the next thing. If you trained in an empty hand martial art that uses those really cool blocks that we all learned in The Karate Kid, these blocks were never intended for swordsmanship. By that, what I mean is this. Psychotic with a sword attacks, and your move is to go, Wah! The Japanese long sword was designed to go entirely through human bodies. Your forearm is not going to work. If she attacks and I block, this is the sort of move that I can only do once. All right, Dwight. Now you're on their side. Yeah, laugh it up. You can block twice that way if you want to, but we consider that a Darwin award. You know, I made that joke in Kansas, and no one laughed. Lady in the front row actually got really upset. She raised her hand. I don't normally take questions during our show, but she looked really mad, and I've learned to do what women who are very angry want. I'm like, yes, ma'am. And she goes, son, do you know where you are? I'm like, yes, ma'am. You're in Kansas. I'm like, oh, you're right. I'll speak slower. I haven't been invited back to that Ren Fair in 2 years.